Hey guys, so today I'm just going to be showing a quick tutorial on how to set up Cowrie. Now what Cowrie is, it's a honeypot which emulates SSH and Telnet services. So if you're new to the concept of honeypots, I'll just be explaining about it in a little bit. So this is what a honeypot analogy looks like. So a honeypot is like a fake trap for hackers. It looks like a real system, but it's actually a decoy designed to trick attackers into interacting with it. So let's say this attacker, he wants to get into the honeypot, the computer. Now he doesn't know it's a honeypot. He he thinks that whatever he's trying to break into is the real computer. Now the honeypot here serves no value whatsoever. There's like even if the attacker were to get in the honeypot or the fake computer, there's no information that could be valuable for him. Since Honeypot, how it works is basically it pretends to be a normal computer or server that has vulnerabilities, and when hackers try to break in, they think they have found a weak system, when in fact, security experts or whoever's setting up the honeypots is able to watch everything that the hackers or the malicious actors are doing. The data collected through honeypots helps improve real cybersecurity defenses. What that means is by setting up honeypots, attackers could, the cybersecurity professionals or whoever set up the honeypots are able to track and attack and see what the attackers do and learn from it, meaning to set up the security measures and security defenses accordingly. Now, I'll give you a short analogy. Let's say cops are trying to catch burglars. Now, instead of waiting for crimes to happen, cops can set up a fake house filled with valuables. Now, of course, these valuables will be fake items just to lure the burglars so that they try and break in the house. Now, eventually, the burglars they break into the house because they heard a lot of valuable things around it. Sorry. Now, when they get in, they found out that there's nothing valuable whatsoever, so they just leave. Now, for the burglars, they basically get nothing, they just waste their time. Now, for the police, though, that set up the fake house in the first place, they get to know information regarding how the burglars approached the house in the first place, meaning maybe there's certain point of entries that are vulnerable, maybe certain risks that they might consider implementing or trying to mitigate in the future. It's basically a way to gather information to secure and strengthen the defenses of one system. Now, in Cowrie here, we're doing a SSH Telnet honeypot. So how we set it up exactly, it's very simple. Now, keep in mind, guys, honeypots, there are various variety, a lot of honeypots out there in the market. I'm just giving a demonstration on Cowrie as it's one of the good examples here in the market, and it's very simple to set up. You can go to this GitHub repository and just scroll down here. Cowrie is a medium to high interaction SSH and Telnet designed to log brute force attacks and shell interaction performed by the attacker. I'll show you that in a bit. But we're just can scroll down here. All you need is two virtual machines. In this case, I'm using two virtual machines, both Kali Linux. And what you need to do is basically copy this command and go to your two virtual machines. Now, on the left is my first virtual machine. I'm going to use this machine as to give a perspective of someone setting up the honeypot, meaning maybe a cybersecurity professional or someone that set up the honeypot in the first place. And on my second virtual machine here on the right, I'm going to show you the perspective of an attacker, meaning that's the one that's going to be attacking the SSH service or the Cowrie honeypot. So what you need to do is I'm going to just firstly show the IPs for both machines. And we're going to run the sudo docker run -p 222 Cowrie latest. Now what this command does exactly is basically it initialize a docker, which is a container basically, and runs it on the port 2232. And we're just going to go enter on that. Give it a second. And yeah, here it's set up. It's basically up already. Cowrie's up. That's all it takes. One command. And as you can see here, ready to accept SS connections. Now, we can try from the attacker machine. Of course, we won't be able to tell what ports are open, right? So the most logical way is to run an nmap scan. So we're going to do that. Nmap-p port 222/sb 192.168.199.134, and yeah, you can see here the IP is our first, the IP that's running the Cowrie honeypot currently, and we're just gonna run that map. Give it a second. You can see here that actually SSH is vulnerable in port 2222. So in attacker perspective, you can see, oh, this port, this SSH service is vulnerable, so I can try and brute force or try and connect to it. You can see here that it actually detects as a Linux machine, which sells it even more, especially if the attacker is not educated enough in terms of the concept of honeypots. They weren't really able to tell what if this is a fake machine or not. So let's say he actually tries to connect through SSH. It's here SSH-b, the port of the honeypot, and tries to connect with the IP address of the machine. So tries with the fingerprint, just press yes. Now it prompts you to enter the password in the attacker's perspective. Now in a normal scenario, it'll be nearly impossible to just guess the password, right? But Cowrie here, you can just enter anything. I'll just get into it. So it won't matter what you put in the password. I'll just get you in nevertheless. So this is pretty obvious, and probably it's easy to get caught. If you're an attacker, it's pretty obvious that it's a honeypot, since, you know, entering a random number or a character, set of characters, and it'll enter the SSH easily. It'll be very obvious that it's set up as a honeypot. So you can do tweaks there and there to try and sell it even more. But since this is just a demonstration, I'm just showing you the very basic concept of honeypots. And we can see here on the first machine that's actually hosting the honeypot that it's actually logging which IP address, the IP address that's connecting to it, which is the attacker's machine. So we can see here that login attempt on the IP of the machine. And you can see here that we actually got root access. So if we try and do like yeah, there's nothing in this directory. So let's say, so yeah, root, and we can see here that it's getting logged. So everything that's the attacker is doing here is actually getting logged by the machine of the cybersecurity professional or whoever set up the honeypot. This is a good way to get intel on what the attacker is doing. And if we go to the previous directory, you see here that it looks like a normal machine. So yeah, it get logged, and we can make a new directory, stuff like that. So yeah, that's basically it. So for Cowrie, it's basically a honeypot which tracks and logs whatever the attacker tries to do, and the shell interaction. This is useful to gather intel and basically to get information on what attackers do when they're faced with a vulnerability, and from that, people can strengthen their defenses accordingly to the attackers' strategies. So that's basically it for this video. It's a very short one. If you guys have any questions, leave them down below, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you.